Out here, under the endless Alberta sky, peace feels like it lasts forever. Until it doesn't. Sometimes, even in a place built on love and trust, one quiet secret can change everything. At Heartland Ranch, where every sunrise brings new hope, Amy Fleming carries a secret she wishes she didn't have. It's not about money, fame, or betrayal. It's something deeper. Something that could change the way her family looks at her forever. The early morning light spills across Heartland Ranch, painting the fields gold. Birds are just beginning to sing, and the horses stir softly in their stalls. Amy moves quietly through the barn, her boots making soft echoes on the wooden floor. She's alone, or at least she thinks she is. Her hands are gentle as she strokes the side of a chestnut mare, whispering to calm her down. The horse's eyes are wide, restless, full of fear. Amy speaks softly, almost to herself. "You're safe now. I promise." But her voice carries a tremor. Not of fear, but of guilt, because this horse isn't supposed to be here. Not yet. Not without permission. Amy took it in last night, under the cover of darkness, after getting a desperate call from a young woman she's been helping. The animal had been abused, scared, and unwanted. Amy couldn't say no. It's who she is, a healer. But this time, she's broken the rules. Jack had told her before. "You can't save them all, Amy. Sometimes the cost is too high." But she didn't listen. She couldn't. As she works, the camera pans around the barn. Tools neatly hung, dust floating in the sunlight, the quiet breath of the horses filling the air. Everything looks peaceful, yet underneath it all, there's tension, a ticking clock. Amy glances toward the doorway. For a moment, her heart skips. She thought she saw movement, but there's nothing. Just the wind brushing against the barn doors. She exhales, relieved, and keeps brushing the horse. Her movements are rhythmic, almost like she's trying to calm herself as much as the animal. Then, a soft creak. The sound of a boot. Amy freezes. Jack's voice breaks the silence, deep and calm but curious. "You're up early." She turns, trying to hide the panic that flashes in her eyes. "Yeah, couldn't sleep." Jack steps closer, his face shadowed by his hat. He looks at her, then at the horse. His brow furrows slightly. "That new one?" Amy's hand hesitates mid-brush. "Yeah, came in late yesterday. I thought I'd get a head start." Jack nods slowly but doesn't press further. He trusts her, or at least he wants to. As he walks away, the tension drains from Amy's shoulders, but only for a moment. She knows she's crossed a line, and the lie, small as it seems, has already begun to grow roots. The music swells softly in the background, slow guitar strings mixed with wind sounds. The camera zooms in on Amy's face, caught between relief and regret. Voice-over narration. In Heartland, secrets don't stay buried for long. The land has a way of whispering them back into the open. And this one? It's only just begun. The scene fades to black, leaving the echo of the horse's soft whinny and Amy's uneasy sigh. The next morning, the ranch feels different, quieter, heavier. The sun is high, but the warmth doesn't reach Amy's heart. She walks across the paddock with a smile that doesn't quite reach her eyes. From the outside, everything looks perfect. Horses grazing, birds circling lazily above, Jack fixing a fence in the distance. But inside Amy's chest, there's a weight pressing down. A truth she's trying to keep buried beneath her calm. The chestnut mare, now tied in the training pen, lets out a nervous snort. Amy watches her carefully, noticing every twitch, every flick of her ears. She senses pain, not just in the body, but deep in the animal's spirit. It's the same pain Amy once carried after losing Ty, the kind that makes you hide, even from the people who love you most. As she reaches to adjust the mare's halter, Georgie walks up, wiping sweat from her brow after a morning ride. Her tone is light, but her eyes are sharp. New horse? I didn't see her in the schedule. Amy's hand pauses again. It's the same hesitation as yesterday. Brief, but telling. Yeah, she says quickly. Just a temporary rescue. I'll handle her myself. Georgie tilts her head, sensing something off. She knows Amy better than most. When Amy takes on a horse alone, it usually means she's protecting more than just the animal. But she doesn't push. Not yet. She just nods and walks away, glancing back once, the suspicion clear in her eyes. The camera follows Georgie's retreat, then pans back to Amy, whose expression shifts from calm to worry the second she's alone again. She leans against the fence, exhaling. The horse whinnies softly, like she can feel the tension too. Amy kneels beside her, whispering, I'll keep you safe, I promise. No one needs to know. Not yet. Her voice cracks a little, as if she's trying to convince herself more than the horse. Cut to a close-up shot. The mare's eyes, reflecting Amy's face. Both frightened, both trapped in silence. A shadow moves behind them. Jack, standing near the barn, wiping his hands on a rag. He looks toward Amy for a moment, his expression unreadable. There's something in his eyes. Not suspicion, but concern. He's seen this before. The way Amy throws herself into a cause when her heart's hiding something. Voiceover narration. Calm, introspective tone. At Heartland, secrets start small, like a whisper in the wind. But before long, they grow louder, echoing through the people who love you the most. And once they take root, they don't stay quiet for long. Later that evening, Amy sits in the loft, her journal open but blank. She tries to write, to find the words that make sense of what she's done. But every time her pen touches paper, guilt floods in. The sound of thunder rolls faintly in the distance. Storm clouds gather over the valley, mirroring the turmoil in her heart. She looks out the window and sees the chestnut mare pacing in the paddock. Restless under the darkening sky, Amy whispers to herself, "What have I done?" Lightning flashes, brief, bright and raw, cutting across the screen. Then comes the voiceover again, soft and haunting. In the stillness of Heartland, every secret is a storm waiting to break. The screen fades to black, leaving only the low rumble of thunder and the mare's cry echoing in the storm passes by dawn, but the ranch doesn't wake the same. The air feels heavy, soaked with secrets and sleepless thoughts. The clouds hang low over Heartland, and a thin mist drifts across the fields. It's the kind of morning where silence says more than words. Amy stands at the window of the loft, coffee growing cold in her hands. Her eyes are tired, but it's not from lack of sleep. It's from carrying the truth too long. Outside, the chestnut mare moves slowly along the fence, her coat damp with morning dew. Amy can't shake the feeling that the horse mirrors her. Scarred, cautious, afraid of being found. Downstairs, footsteps echo across the floorboards. Lisa's voice breaks the stillness. "Amy? You up there?" Amy sets the mug down quickly, wiping her face before she answers. "Yeah, just coming." Cut to a soft transition. The two women, standing near the barn, the air still thick from last night's rain. Lisa looks elegant yet weathered, like the land itself, calm but perceptive. She runs her hand along the fence and says quietly, "I saw a trailer pull in late the other night. Everything okay?" Amy freezes, just for a heartbeat too long. Then she forces a small smile. "Yeah, just a quick rescue. Nothing serious." Lisa nods slowly, her eyes narrowing, not out of judgment but out of concern. You know Jack doesn't like surprises on his property. The tone in Amy's voice softens, almost pleading. "I know, but she needed help, Lisa. I couldn't leave her there." A brief silence. Then Lisa sighs, that kind of sigh that carries years of understanding. "Your heart's too big, Amy. Just make sure it doesn't get you into trouble." Amy nods, but inside, the guilt grows heavier. As Lisa walks away, Amy turns back toward the mare, whispering under her breath, "Trouble's already here." The screen fades to a slow montage. Georgie cleaning the tack room, spotting a strange halter she doesn't recognize. Jack fixing the gate, but pausing when he notices hoof prints leading from the road. Amy brushing the mare, her face drawn with quiet panic. The music builds gently. Slow piano chords with a low hum underneath, almost like a heartbeat. Later, that day, Georgie stands at the edge of the paddock, studying the horse. The animal flinches at her movement, eyes wide with old fear. Georgie whispers, "Hey, it's okay." She steps closer, her expression turning serious. She's seen horses like this before, ones who've been hurt, hidden, or abandoned. She turns toward the barn, calling out, "Amy, where did she come from?" Amy's voice answers from the shadows, "It doesn't matter. What matters is she's safe now." But Georgie doesn't look convinced. She steps forward, eyes searching Amy's face. "You always tell me that honesty heals. So why does this feel different?" Amy's silence is answer enough. The camera holds on her expression, calm on the surface, but her eyes shimmer with unshed tears. Voice-over narration, gentle, reflective. At Heartland, truth doesn't hide for long. The land listens. The wind carries whispers. And when the heart starts to lie, it's only a matter of time before someone hears the truth beneath the silence. The scene ends with Georgie walking away, her face a mix of worry and curiosity. Amy stays behind, standing next to the horse as the sky darkens again. She strokes the mare's mane, whispering, "They wouldn't understand." Then, a faint sound in the distance. A truck engine, tires crunching on gravel. Amy looks up sharply, fear flickering in her eyes. The screen cuts to black as the voiceover returns, quiet but firm. "Some sec distance." The day begins like any other. But there's a weight in the air, something invisible pressing down on the ranch. The wind carries dust across the yard, and the sky hangs low, gray and restless. Every sound feels sharper. The creak of a gate, the clatter of a bucket, the uneasy snort of a horse. It's as if the land itself can sense what's coming. Amy's in the barn again, brushing the chestnut mare with slow, steady strokes. The horse shifts nervously, sensing her tension. She whispers, "It's okay. It's just another day." But her voice trembles, because she knows it's not just another day. Not anymore. The sound of a truck door slamming cuts through the quiet. Amy freezes. She steps to the doorway just in time to see Jack standing beside a stranger. A woman in her 30s, clutching a folder and wearing a look that's part worry, part guilt. The woman's eyes go straight to the barn. Amy's heart stops. She knows that face. Voice-over narration. Low, suspenseful tone. Every secret has two sides. The one you hide, and the one coming to find you. Jack turns to Amy, confusion etched across his face. "Amy, this woman says you've got one of her horses." Amy's throat tightens. The air feels heavy, her words caught behind a wall of fear. The woman steps closer. "Her name's Angel. She was taken from our property 3 nights ago." Amy's hand instinctively reaches for the mare's halter. The horse flinches as if she remembers the voice too. "She's been hurt," Amy blurts out. "You didn't take care of her." "She was terrified." The woman's eyes widen in shock. "We were rehabilitating her." "You had no right." Jack raises a hand, his tone firm but calm. "Enough. Amy, is this true?" For the first time, Amy can't meet his eyes. Her silence says everything. The camera lingers on Jack's face. Disappointment, not anger, filling his eyes. He looks like a man watching someone he loves slip away from him. Not because of what she's done, but because of what she's become trying to save something broken. He speaks softly, his voice trembling with both hurt and understanding. "Amy, you know better than this. You can't just take what isn't yours." Tears well in her eyes, but she stands her ground. "I couldn't let her stay there. You didn't see what I saw. She would have died if I didn't bring her here." A moment of silence, raw, powerful, heavy. Then Georgie appears in the doorway, drawn by the voices. Her eyes dart between them all, then to the mare. Realization hits her like a wave. "Amy, you lied?" Amy's face falls. The secret is no longer just hers. It's out in the open now, hanging in the air like smoke. The camera pulls back. Wide shot of the barn. The family standing apart. The horse caught between them. The sound of the wind outside grows louder, blending with the faint rumble of thunder. Voiceover narration. Somber, emotional. In Heartland, truth doesn't roar. It whispers, soft but unstoppable. And when it finally finds its voice, it changes everything. Amy steps closer to Jack, her voice breaking. "I just wanted to help." He looks at her, eyes wet but steady. "I know, but sometimes helping means letting go." The camera zooms slowly on Amy's face, tears tracing down, her lip trembling as she looks at the horse one last time. The truth has come out, but instead of relief, there's only silence, and the feeling that something deeper has just begun to crack. The scene fades out as Amy's voice trembles over the sound of thunder. Some secrets are worth the risk, until they're not. Fade to black, night drapes itself over Heartland like a heavy blanket. Still, silent, suffocating. The rain has stopped, but puddles glisten under the faint glow of the barn lights. The world feels paused, holding its breath after the storm. Inside the barn, the air smells of hay, leather, and regret. Amy sits alone on a bale of hay, elbows on her knees, her hands trembling slightly. Her eyes are red. Not from tears she's cried, but from the ones she's been holding back all day. The chestnut mare stands nearby, calm now, but her presence only makes the silence louder. Voiceover narration. Slow, reflective. When the truth finally breaks free, it doesn't shout. It just sits beside you, quiet, unrelenting, and impossible to ignore. Jack's words still echo in Amy's mind. "You can't just take what isn't yours." Each syllable feels like a small fracture in her heart. She meant well, but good intentions don't always make right choices. The camera pans through the barn. Empty stalls, soft moonlight spilling through the cracks in the wood. The hum of distant crickets. Everything is still, yet everything has changed. Outside, Georgie walks toward the barn, her steps hesitant. She pauses at the doorway, watching Amy in silence. For a moment, she considers walking away, leaving things unsaid. But she doesn't. She steps inside. "You did the wrong thing," Georgie says softly. "But I think I understand why." Amy lifts her head, her voice weak. "I thought I was helping. I thought I was saving her." Georgie nods, eyes glistening. "You were, but sometimes saving something means trusting others too. You always tell me that. I guess now it's your turn to believe it." Amy smiles faintly, the kind that hurts. "Guess I'm not very good at my own advice." A quiet laugh slips from Georgie. A fragile sound, but enough to ease the weight in the air. She walks closer, placing a hand on Amy's shoulder. Cut to a soft montage. Amy watching the mare being led away by the rightful owner the next morning. Jack standing at the fence, arms crossed, eyes full of worry but not anger. Lou arriving from the city, hearing bits of what happened through hushed voices. The atmosphere feels like mourning. Not for a death, but for trust lost. Amy stands by the corral, watching the truck disappear down the dirt road. The mare lets out a soft cry, and Amy's chest tightens. She whispers, "Be free, Angel." Her words are barely audible, but they hang in the air long after the truck is gone. Voiceover narration, gentle but heavy. In Heartland, every choice has a cost. Sometimes it's time, sometimes it's trust. And sometimes it's a piece of your heart you can't get back. Later, in the quiet of the loft, Amy sits by the window. The sky is clearing, stars blinking through the fading clouds. She opens her journal again. This time, she writes. The camera zooms in on her words. "I wanted to do right. I just didn't know how." Her hand lingers over the page as the wind rustles through the open window. It carries faint echoes of laughter from the house, reminders that life and love still go on. Amy closes the book, her voice soft in the darkness. Maybe forgiveness starts when we stop hiding. The scene fades out slowly, the light of the barn glowing in the distance like a lantern against the night. Voiceover, final line for the section. Secrets can break a family, but they can also teach it how to heal. Fade to black. Music, soft acoustic guitar with the sound of crickets fading away. Morning light slips through the clouds, soft and golden, like forgiveness taking form. The storm is gone now, leaving behind a world washed clean. The fences glisten with dew. The air smells of wet earth and hay. And for the first time in days, the ranch feels alive again. Amy steps outside, coffee in hand, her eyes tracing the horizon. The fields stretch endlessly ahead, painted in the colors of dawn. She breathes in deeply, as if she's trying to let the new day fill the spaces where guilt used to live. Voiceover narration, calm, hopeful. Time doesn't erase pain, it just teaches the heart how to live beside it. Until one day you realize the hurt has turned into something softer. The camera drifts to the barn. Jack is there, fixing a broken latch, his hands steady, his expression unreadable. He doesn't look up when Amy approaches, but she knows he's been waiting for her. For a moment she just stands there watching him, the man who taught her everything. How to ride, how to trust, how to listen. And now, how to own up to her mistakes. She clears her throat. "Jack, I was wrong." He pauses, then turns slowly, the morning sun catching the lines on his face. He studies her. The woman she's become, still learning, still stumbling, still fighting to do right. "You did what you thought was right," he says quietly. "That's never wrong, but sometimes it's not enough." Amy nods, her voice trembling. "I didn't want to lose your trust," Jack softens. "You can't lose what's never gone. You just have to earn it back a little at a time." The air feels lighter then, like the weight between them has begun to dissolve. Cut to a montage. Amy and Jack working side by side, repairing a fence in quiet understanding. Georgie laughing as she helps feed the horses. Lisa setting the table for breakfast, sunlight dancing across the plates. The ranch is whole again, not perfect, not polished, but peaceful. Later, Amy walks to the paddock where another horse, a young filly, waits nervously. She reaches out gently, her movements slow, her touch steady. The horse flinches at first, but then relaxes under her hand. Amy smiles, a real one this time. "It's okay," she whispers. "You're safe here." Voiceover narration, warm and reflective. Healing doesn't come in grand gestures. It comes in moments like this, quiet, patient, and real. You don't wake up fixed, you wake up willing. As the day stretches on, laughter fills the ranch again. Lou and Katie arguing over breakfast, Jack humming while cleaning his tools, Georgie teasing Amy about her secret rescue mission. The kind of noise that means life has found its rhythm again. Amy leans against the barn door, watching her family, a faint smile on her lips. For the first time in a long while, the silence inside her heart feels peaceful. Not heavy, she whispers softly to herself. Maybe every mistake is just a step toward understanding who we're meant to be. The camera slowly pans upward, following the flight of a hawk soaring above the ranch. The screen glows in the colors of late afternoon. Amber, gold, and hope. Voiceover narration, closing line for this section. At Heartland, forgiveness isn't spoken. It's lived. Every sunrise, every repaired fence, every shared laugh is a promise that love always finds its way home. Fade out with soft instrumental guitar and the faint whinny of a horse in the distance. The day fades slowly over Heartland, the sun dipping low behind the rolling hills. The sky burns gold, then melts into soft pinks and quiet purples. It's the kind of evening that makes you stop, makes you remember that peace isn't the absence of struggle, but the grace that follows it. Amy stands by the corral, her hands resting on the worn wood of the fence. The horses graze lazily in the distance, their silhouettes framed by the last light of day. There's a calmness in her eyes now, not because everything is perfect, but because she's accepted that it doesn't have to be. Voiceover narration. Soft. Reflective. Some secrets change the way we see others. The hardest ones change the way we see ourselves. Jack walks up behind her, quiet as the evening wind. He doesn't say much, he never needs to. He just stands beside her, watching the land they've built together. After a long silence, he murmurs, "You did good today." Amy turns to him, a small smile tugging at her lips. "After all that, you still think so?" He chuckles softly. "You made a mistake, sure, but you faced it. That's what makes you one of us." The words hit her deeper than she expected. She nods, eyes glistening, her voice barely a whisper. "I just didn't want to let anyone down." Jack puts a hand on her shoulder. "You didn't. You reminded us why we care, why we keep going." The camera lingers on the two of them, the mentor and the student, the past and the future, standing side by side. The sun dips below the horizon, casting their shadows long across the ground. Cut to the next morning. Amy journaling in the loft again. This time her handwriting is steady, her words confident. The pages aren't full of guilt anymore, but gratitude. The camera zooms in on a single line. "Some lessons don't come easy, but the ones that hurt the most are the ones that last." She looks out the window at the glowing dawn, the ranch waking up, life beginning again. Horses neigh in the distance, Georgie's laughter echoes faintly from the yard, and the smell of coffee drifts up from the kitchen. Voiceover narration. Gentle. Closing tone. In Heartland, secrets come and go, but love stays. It grows through the cracks, blooms through the pain, and finds a way to shine through the truth. The camera follows Amy as she walks down to the paddock, her boots crunching on the gravel path. She pauses for a moment, looking out at the horizon. Peaceful, open, endless. She closes her eyes and lets the breeze brush against her face, carrying away the last remnants of the guilt she once held. Voiceover narration. Final words, cinematic finish. In the end, we all carry secrets. Some we share, some we keep. But at Heartland, one thing's for sure. No secret is stronger than love. The screen fades to a warm amber glow. Soft guitar strings play. Text fades in. Heartland, Season 19, Episode 2. Two can keep a secret, a heartbeat of silence. Then the screen fades to black.